We also have a big IPO opening next week in the name of Tata
Tata Tech
Technologies, the
IPO.
first public offering from the Tata Group in nearly 2 decades. Last time it came out with an IPO was back in 2004 with TCS. But before we get to you, Shreya Sojatia is also joining us on the studio, and she has all the details about the IPO ready for us. Shreya, tell us about the IPO.
Suyash, thank you. So, Tata Technologies has been one of the most awaited IPOs since it's after 2 decades that Tata Group companies is going public on November 22. So, if we can just pull up the graphics, I would like to explain the timeline to you. So, the IPO opens for subscription on November 22nd and it will close on November 24th. The basis of allotment will start from November 30th, whereas the initiation of refunds will be on December 1st. Finally, the listing date will happen on December 5th. That is when the IPO will go public on BSE and NSE. Now the IPO details. The company has set the price band of its IPO at rupees 475 to 500 per share, with a lot size of 30 equity shares. What is to be noted here is that the IPO is purely offer for sale. That is, that the company is not getting any of the proceeds from this. So the investors will offload rupees 6.09. The investor will offload 6.09 crore equity shares.
Right.
Now, an offer for sale does not increase the company's share capital. What it does is it transfers the share from one shareholder to another shareholder. On the upper price band, the IPO size of the Tata Technology is rupees 3,000 crores, and its market valuation is expected to come at around 20,000 crores. The IPO, Tata Motors will offload rupees 4,006.2 crore shares, whereas Alpha TC Holdings is to sell 97.1 lakh shares. Tata Capital Growth is to sell 48 lakh shares. So this is the shares which will be up for investors to grab. Now, when we look at the percentage of the division which is there, so the qualified institutional bidders will get 50% of this, whereas the retail investors have been allotted the 35% of reservation. As far as non-institutional investors are concerned, they will be given 15% of shares. Now, the Tata Technology Limited revenue has increased by 26%, and the profit after tax rose by 42% between the financial year ending with March 31st, 2023 to March 31st, 2022.
Now, sir, I mean, Shreya raised a very interesting point that the entire offer is an offer for sale. I mean, nothing goes to the company, it's all going to the exiting shareholders. Is it a cause of concern for the investors?
You're talking about the Tata Group, essentially sharing the business and allowing other people to participate in the upside that the business might bring. I mean, that's another way to really look at it. Today, you didn't have access to these shares. Now you'll have access to them. Then the question then only shifts to one argument, which is whether valuations are good and so on. I haven't looked at that aspect in detail, and I typically bypass most IPOs. But I'll tell you only one thing, that the Tatas have a history of success, for which, irrespective, it is going to attract a lot of attention. Everybody is going to want to have a piece of the pie. So it is going to be attractive from that point of view, that it has the Tata tag name on it. In fact, the last 3 years, you have seen the entire group stock performance among the best in terms of various groups that are listed. They've all done well. So that's gives them a lot of backup in terms of being able to attract investment demand. So that doesn't look like much of an issue. I think most people are going to be interested in participating and being part of this new business that is going to go public.
Now, sir, another thing that I noted, I mean, the grey market premium before the price band was announced was at about 250 to 300 rupees. I mean, is it a little odd for a company to set a price band below the prevalent, stock price in the unlisted market?
See, first of all, you are referring to an illegal part of the market, which is the unlisted market, which actually should not be permitted, but it's there. It's been there for 2-3 decades. In between, it had disappeared for a while, and it's made a good comeback. Uh, when companies think of their listing price, they don't think of the unlisted market, right? They actually think of what value might make sense from an investor point of view. Some of them can be more courteous in terms of providing a good value to long-term investors, and some of them can end up pushing valuations to the top end of the extreme, which is when a lot of investment banks get involved. And you had this whole issue around Zomato valuations. So many people wrote about it 2 years ago. So they're two completely different approaches. History of Tata's is they don't really overprice their stock.
Right.
So to think that they've put it less than what is happening in an unofficial market, I don't think is of consequence.
Okay. Before I let you go, how attractive is the price band?
Like I said, I haven't looked at the valuation angle in depth. What attracts you really here is the name itself. I haven't looked at that to comment on whether the valuation band is right.
Right.
It's the group that is really the attraction here.
Okay. Tata being the attraction here.